What makes for a greater archaeological find? One where experts instantly grasp everything about it the moment it's found, or one that sparks a mystery no one can crack? We think it's the second type. While it's always great to uncover the tales of ancient peoples and their powerful empires, it's even more exhilarating to come face to face with the unexplained, exactly what we're doing in this video. Here are some remarkable ancient finds that come with a mystery. Number 15. The mysterious Tonkararin. Why is there a network of tunnels carved into the hills of Kyushu in Nagomi, Japan? If you've got an explanation, you'd earn serious respect from the Japanese archaeological community. They've been trying to crack the code for decades without success. The tunnels are clearly man-made, but in some spots, they're so tight only a child could squeeze through. Then suddenly they expand up to 13 feet tall. Stretching around 445 feet, they appear ancient, likely dating back to the Yayoi or Kofun period, yet no one knows who built them or why. They've been called Tonkararin, though no one remembers how the name originated. Some link it to Shinto rituals tied to the nearby Ita Funayama burial mound, while others claim it's the mythical hiding place of the sun goddess Amaterasu. What's even stranger here is that elements of the stonework show deliberate craftsmanship, but bear no resemblance to any known Japanese temple. And at the tunnel's far end is a lone shrine that stands still without a name or known dedication. Number 14. The Born Stone. The Born Stone's significance went unnoticed for years as it was shuffled from one location to another. That constant movement has made it nearly impossible to pin down its original context. Most agree it was used as a threshold stone at a Native American meeting house in Bourne during the late 1600s. After that, the 300-pound granite block passed through several private hands until landing at the Uptuxet trading post in 1930. It finally became a museum display in 2003. Etched into the surface are two lines of unknown script. In 1977, author Barry Fell claimed the inscription was Ancient Iberian, translating to, "By this stone, Hanno takes possession." In 2004, linguist Michael Barnes rejected that theory, arguing the characters weren't Iberian, Norse, or any ancient European language. Instead, he proposed they're Native American petroglyphs. If true, their meaning is still unknown. Maybe it just said, "Watch your step." Number 13. Sumerian wristwatches. The Sumerians were miles ahead of their time, but as far as we know, they didn't invent the wristwatch. So why do so many of their ancient bas-reliefs seem to show figures, both human and otherwise, wearing objects that look suspiciously like watches? Well, sure, they could be bracelets, but their round faces don't match that shape. Some even seem to have markings resembling clock hands. These carvings date back over 5,000 years, created in Mesopotamia by one of the earliest complex civilizations in human history. The appearance of these watches, paired with their mastery in architecture, astronomy, and design, has stirred conspiracy theories, ranging from time travel to alien contact. We're not leaning into wild theories, but there's no solid explanation either. If they're not bracelets, could they be amulets, personal seals, symbols of status? Until someone finds solid proof, the strange watch-like items will keep raising eyebrows. Number 12. Ancient tools from the Tibetan Plateau. Tibet is already seen as sacred ground, but this June 2021 find adds even more weight. Archaeologists discovered a collection of stone tools in a region called Jiangjunfu in northeastern Tibet. The shock wasn't the tools themselves, but their age, more than 100,000 years old. Alongside them were butchered animal bones, suggesting early humans lived and hunted here. The craftsmanship closely resembles that of the Denisovans, an archaic human group once based in the Denisovan cave in Siberia. That's led some researchers to believe these early Tibetans may have descended from or interacted with Denisovans. Their ability to survive in freezing, high-altitude conditions likely helped them thrive in such an extreme landscape. Over 100 stone tools were found, plus 13 unused stone cores left behind. Whether these people were Denisovan or a related group, the site marks an early human footprint in one of Earth's most unforgiving environments, well before most believed it was even possible. Number 11. The Temple of Zeus Lepsinos statues. In early June 2021, archaeologists excavating the Temple of Zeus Lepsinos in Turkey's Muğla province uncovered a set of marble statues that matched the temple's incredible preservation. The structure itself is considered one of the best preserved Roman temples in Asia Minor, and the finds beneath it lived up to that reputation. Two 2,500-year-old statues were recovered, both believed to depict Kouros figures. One is entirely nude, while the other wears what looks like leather armor. Both are holding lions, a detail that may associate them with Apollo. Alongside them was a lengthy inscription from the Hellenistic period, still untranslated. If decoded, it could reveal significant details about Euromos, the ancient city the temple once served. The discovery has renewed interest in the area's archaeological potential. Local historians are hopeful that the statues, and whatever secrets the inscription holds, will finally put Euromos on the academic map. Number 10. Royston Cave and the Knights Templar. Royston Cave is steeped in rumors linking it to the Knights Templar. That theory remains unconfirmed but also unrefuted. The cave walls are covered in strange symbols and images that pull from a mix of cultures and eras. While some carvings unmistakably resemble Templar iconography, others appear to be pagan. That's a problem. The Templars were strict Christians and would never have allowed pagan symbols alongside their own, unless something deeper was at play. One theory suggests the pagan markings were added later. Another proposes a splinter group of Templars with more eclectic beliefs that use the cave. A third idea is that Royston Cave is a modern forgery. But that seems unlikely. It was discovered in 1742, and experts who studied it at the time found it to be an undisturbed structure dating back to the 1200s. Without fresh evidence, the cave's true origin and purpose remain hidden behind its carvings. Number 9. Harpocrates figurine. Since early 2021, archaeologists working in Crimea have uncovered numerous relics, but none more intriguing than a tiny figurine of Harpocrates, the Egyptian god of silence, found near the village of Yakovenkovo in June. The deep blue pendant and ceramic figurine were located in what was once the necropolis of Kizaul, a site repeatedly targeted by grave robbers. Fortunately, looters tend to ignore ceramics, leaving this fragile artifact intact. The figurine depicts Harpocrates as a child pressing a finger to his lips, often interpreted as a symbol of quiet or secrecy. Some experts argue it might simply represent childhood itself, as the gesture had different meanings in ancient Egypt. Harpocrates was later embraced by the Greeks and Romans, who held feasts in his honor featuring fish, vegetables, and lotus flowers. His quiet symbolism crossed borders, turning into a deity of confidentiality, childhood, and sacred silence. Finding him here links Crimea to a wider, older spiritual world. And who says the world is boring? Number 8. The Grave Creek Stone. Like Royston Cave, the Grave Creek Stone remains stuck between two camps, those who think it's a genuine historical artifact, and those convinced it's a well-executed hoax. Found in 1838 during the excavation of a burial mound in Moundsville, West Virginia, the stone is believed to be about 2,100 years old. The mound itself was almost certainly built by the Adena culture, who once occupied much of present-day West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Several unmistakable Adena items were found in the same mound. But this stone? It's different. The characters inscribed on it don't match any known Adena script, and the language remains undeciphered. Most experts think the object doesn't even belong to Adena at all. To make things even complicated, the original artifact is missing. Only casts remain. Without the original, authenticating the piece is nearly impossible. Even if it wasn't Adina-made, it still raises the question, where did it come from, and why was it buried there? Well, if you find out, let us know. Number 7. New England's Mystery Stone. In 1872, two workers digging near Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire unearthed a curious lump of clay. Inside it was an unusual artifact that would come to be known as the Mystery Stone, also referred to as the Lake Winnipesaukee Mystery Stone. To this day, no one knows who made it, why it was created, or even when it was carved. The artifact is a dark, egg-shaped stone, perfectly smooth, with intricate etchings of patterns, faces, arrows, and geometric symbols, none of which have been conclusively deciphered. No similar object has ever been found in North America. The carving techniques appear advanced, yet don't match any known indigenous or colonial tool marks. Despite multiple examinations by archaeologists, linguists, and geologists, the stone's origin remains completely unresolved. Now housed at the Museum of New Hampshire History, the artifact continues to fuel speculation. Some think it's ceremonial, others say it's a hoax. Number 6. The Michigan Relics. The name you use says a lot. Some refer to these controversial artifacts as the Michigan Relics, while others call them the Scotford Frauds. That alone tells you there's a long-standing argument around their legitimacy. Reportedly unearthed in the late 1800s, these items supposedly offer proof of a Near Eastern culture existing in North America, long before Columbus. They were found by Michigan native James O. Scotford, who insisted until his death that the artifacts were genuine. Among them was a cup marked with what looked like hieroglyphic-style symbols. Some Latter-day Saints believe the relics validate parts of the Book of Mormon, but most historians aren't buying it. The inscriptions appear random and nonsensical, and the clay tablets show evidence of being shaped using modern tools. For many scholars, it's an open and shut case of forgery. Believing in their authenticity, then, is less about proof and more about personal conviction. The academic world remains unconvinced. Number 5. The oldest musical instrument in Anatolia. In July 2021, an excavation in Bashur, southeastern Anatolia, Turkey, turned up what's now believed to be the country's oldest musical instrument, an 8,000-year-old bone flute or whistle. The discovery began with a tip from a local resident who found ceramic shards in a nearby field. That led to a full archaeological dig, where researchers uncovered 11 Neolithic human skeletons and traces of early agriculture, including buckwheat, barley, and lentils. The instrument itself is small and made from animal bone, with one drilled hole on one side and two on the other. That design suggests it had more in common with a flute than a whistle. Similar instruments found in other regions of Turkey are known as tutek, used in rituals or ceremonies. Though it's too fragile to play, scientists plan to recreate an exact replica to hear what it might have sounded like. Number 4. Ancient Roman eye medicine. If you had vision issues during the Roman era, you couldn't exactly book an appointment with an optician. Instead, you'd apply a strange gray paste to your eyelids and hope it worked. This unusual Roman eye medicine was found in a shipwreck off the coast of Tuscany. The wreck itself was discovered in 1974, but it wasn't until decades later that the mysterious gray tablets stored in round tin boxes were analyzed. In 2019, chemical tests revealed the ingredients: beeswax, pine resin, smithsonite, and hydrozincite, components consistent with remedies described by Pliny the Elder. The tablets, shaped like small loaves, align with the Latin word collyrium, derived from Greek, meaning little loaves, a term historically used for eye treatments. The Roman sailors likely carried these medicinal kits as part of their onboard supplies. Whether or not they actually worked is still questionable, but it is super unique. Number 3. Ancient Jewish rebel coins. During July 2021 excavations in the West Bank near Jerusalem, 2 rare coins minted by ancient Jewish rebels were uncovered, created nearly 70 years apart, but echoing the same message of resistance. The first coin, from 67 CE, features a vine leaf and Hebrew writing that translates to Freedom of Zion, while the reverse reads Year 2, marking the second year of the first Jewish revolt. At that time, rebels had taken control of large parts of Judea and minted their own currency. 3 years later, Rome crushed the revolt and destroyed the temple. The second coin, from 134 CE, was issued during the Bar Kokhba revolt. It carries an inscription declaring Freedom of Jerusalem and the name Shimon on the reverse, likely referring to rebel leader Simon Bar Kokhba. Though both uprisings were ultimately unsuccessful, the coins remain a bold symbol of resistance and a direct challenge to Roman authority in ancient Judea. Number 2. World's oldest noodles in China. A warm bowl of noodles is the heart of Chinese cuisine, and apparently, that tradition has incredibly deep roots. In July 2021, archaeologists working in Lajia, near the Upper Yellow River, found a sealed ceramic bowl overturned and preserved beneath 10 feet of sediment. Inside, thin yellow noodles that are over 4,000 years old. The site is part of the ancient Qijia culture and is known for well-preserved finds, but this one still stood out. The sudden burial likely came from a natural disaster, which helped preserve the bowl's contents. The noodles themselves beat out all others globally in age, making them the oldest known noodles on record. For years, both China and Italy have claimed ownership of the noodles' origin. Unless Italian researchers can unearth an older example, this discovery gives China the definitive win. But who has eaten them? Number 1. The Pomerium marker of Rome. To the ancient Romans, Rome wasn't just a city, it was sacred. Even the city's borders were treated with reverence. The Pomerium, Rome's religious boundary, was physically marked with stone blocks. Very few of these markers survive today, which makes the one found in June 2021 near the mausoleum of Augustus a rare treasure. It dates back to Emperor Claudius, who expanded the Pomerium in 49 CE to reflect his conquest of Britain. The original boundary was said to be plowed by Romulus himself in 753 BCE, and violating it, like Remus allegedly did, was punishable by death. Later rulers expanded it for symbolic reasons, including Sulla in 80 BCE. Claudius followed that precedent. The newly found stone confirms this specific expansion and serves as a powerful reminder of how Roman politics, territory, and religion were deeply intertwined. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you soon.